afternoon to all my wonderful viewers out there. Welcome back to another top 5 video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the top 5 most hyped brands in 2020 streetwear. Bit late to the party, I know guys, but I did want to do this video eventually, and now that it's the weekend, I have a little bit of spare time, so I thought, why not now? Why not talk about it? Yes, well, in today's video, let's cover it. Let's talk about it. I'm going to be covering what I personally thought were the top 5 most hyped brands in 2020 streetwear. So these were the brands that everyone was wearing, or at least everyone on my discovery feed was wearing. All the influencers, all the icons, they were all wearing it. Or at least, I don't know, maybe, again, this is from my perspective, this is what I felt like were the most hyped brands in 2020 streetwear. And you may agree with me, you may disagree with me, and that's fine. That's what the comment section's for. Where we beef it out. But yes, we're going to be discussing my top 5. Let's get into it. So, let's have a look at number 5. What did I think was the 5th most hyped brand in 2020 streetwear? Let's go check it out. So at number 5, it's going to go to the brand that I feel like has been on the come up for the past couple years, and then finally in 2020, it got the spotlight it so rightfully deserved. It was the brand that so many people were getting around, and finally their opinions had shifted from how they felt on it, and it shifted in 2020 to the point where friends of mine that aren't into sneakers, aren't into streetwear, aren't into fashion at all, were saying, you know what? This brand's kind of dope. This is actually kind of cool. At number 5, for my 5th most hyped brand in streetwear of 2020, it's going to go to New Balance. Some of you may agree with me on this. Some of you may disagree with this. Some of you may be like, it doesn't deserve to be on the list at all. But in 2020, we saw New Balance come into the spotlight. We saw people wearing it. We saw influencers loving it. We saw Instagram's discovery feed loving it. And this was because of, you know, the big time collaborations and just the overall appreciation and love for New Balance's retro looking models. We saw the 550 collaboration with Emi Delor. I probably just absolutely butchered the name, but the low cut basketball shoes which came in a few different colors. That was a huge hit. Yes, because of the yellowed midsoles, and that was a big trend in 2020, but just because it's a really solid retro looking low cut sneaker. On top of that, we also got the Casablanca collaboration on the 327s, and then that just propelled the 327s into the spotlight, where people didn't even necessarily want the Casablanca collaboration on them. They just wanted the 327s in general. Not to mention a bunch of other models like the 574s. Like, a lot of the casual looking New Balance shoes have been propelled both in normcore and streetwear in general. Everyone's wearing New Balance. Everyone has shifted their opinions from, New Balance is that brand that dads wear when they mow the lawns and they have the 625s and the 624s, if I'm remembering the models off the top of my head correctly. They've shifted that opinion to, hey, New Balance is cool. I want some New Balance. And the fact that I can see collaborations with New Balance having resale value, I'm kind of having to feel like I have to put it at number 5. I feel like that massive shift on everyone's thoughts and opinions on New Balance cements it at spot number 5. And it was just, yeah, it was all over my discovery feed. I could not escape New Balance on my Instagram discovery feed. So it's going at number 5. But let's move on. Let's head on over to the 4th brand that I thought was the most hyped in 2020 streetwear. Now at number 4, one brand that instantly comes to mind that I had to put on this list, and I actually kind of struggled to put like in its spot. I was like, where does it go? Does it deserve it here? It was tough. A sub-label of a very, very popular athletic brand, one that has collaborated with famous celebrities, one that is worn and loved by celebrities, influencers, and just your everyday Joe Blow. It is going to go to Jordan Brand at number 4. And in 2020, it was propelled into the spotlight because of, obviously, the collaboration with Dior. The Dior Jordan 1s threw Jordan Brand into the spotlight. But that wasn't the only reason. That wasn't the only reason and why it deserves to be at number 4. The overall love for the Jordan 1 silhouette and Jordans in general was at its all-time high in 2020. Everyone was copying them. Even the most ugly of colorways and the ugliest of silhouettes, the Jordan 1 mids, and all the colorways that were hideous that released in Jordan 1 mids and highs, they sold out. They had resale value, people were loving them, people were wearing them. It all just came to its peak, I think, in 2020, which is a real surprise. And I see that because, I mean, back in 2014 and 15, when I was getting into sneakers, and I bought most of these sneakers in 2015 and 2016, they were expensive back then, but the secondary market prices were at an all-time high in 2020. I would buy none of the shoes that I have here today now. Like, they're just way too expensive. And I'm so grateful I got into it a couple years ago. Because then I didn't have to pay those ridiculous prices. But yeah, from the collaborations, from the general releases, everyone was loving Jordan Brand. Even the apparel was really popular. I mean, on top of the Dior collaboration, the Dior clothing collaboration with Jordan Brand was a huge success as well. It was just, 2020 was a huge year for Jordan Brand, and I started to see, you know, influencers and people that have no interest in sneakers getting into sneakers because of Jordan Brand. So I had to put them in the list. I felt like slot number 4 was where they deserve to be. And if they deserve to be at number 4, you know some big brands are coming up next if I put Jordan Brand at number 4. So yeah, get ready for the top 3, guys. But let's move into it. Let's look at what I thought was the 3rd most hyped brand in streetwear in 2020. Now for my 3rd most hyped brand in 2020, in streetwear in 2020, this one was the one that I was like trying to figure out if it deserves spot number 3 or spot number 4, and Jordan Brand was the brand that was like contesting with it. I was like, which one goes where? But I feel like this one deserves spot number 3, just for like, it was more consistently hyped compared to Jordan Brand. And I mean, I don't want to base the hype based on the secondary market prices, but I feel like this appeared way more on my discovery feed. I mean, I know that's a really bad measure as well to use, but it just appeared so much more in my life and was talked about so much more, both on YouTube and various other platforms as well. So I feel like this brand definitely deserves spot number 3 just because of that. And it's going to go to another sub-label of the same athletic brand. Number 3 is going to go to Nike SB. It's really carried and really put in slot number 3 because of its dunk lows and, well, just its dunk releases in general. The apparel was a big part as well, but nowhere near as big as the part that the dunk lows play in cementing it as my 3rd most hyped brand of 2020 street. It had, you know, the Grateful Dead collaboration. We had, right at the start of the year, the Travis Scott collaboration. We had the Medicom toy collaboration. We had the Chicago colorway coming out. We had the ACG ones coming out. Like, there was, the Ben & Jerry's, the Ben & Jerry collaboration at the start of the year as well. We just had so many collaborations, so many colorways that were just loved by either the SB community, loved by hypebeasts, loved by sneakerheads, loved by people that aren't into sneakers at all and just thought they were really cool shoes. It all came together in 2020. And when people were saying 2020 was going to be the year of the dunk, they were correct. We got so many releases this year. It was just huge, just absolutely huge. And I felt like they deserved slot number 3 just because of the huge impact and the huge widespread love that they got in 2020. And I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, wait, we had at number 5, we had New Balance. Number 4, we had Jordan Brand. At number 3, we had Nike SB. What the hell could be 2 and 1? Well, yeah, get ready for those. Let's dive into them though. Let's get into it. So let's go have a look at what I felt like was the 2nd most hyped brand of 2020 streetwear. Okay, so let's move into my 2nd most hyped brand of streetwear in 2020. This one had its 40th anniversary in 2020. It had so many collaborations that I'm struggling to remember most of them. And overall, its releases just by itself, independently without having collaborations, were really solid, sold out, were loved by many, and it's one that just came out of nowhere. Kind of did. What I'm gonna put at number 2 is Stussy. I mean, all the hype beasts, as soon as I said 40th anniversary, instantly knew what I was talking about. I know you did. But yeah, Stussy. I feel like it's out of nowhere. I feel like it was out of nowhere. I didn't see this coming. I didn't see it in 2019. I didn't see it in 2018. It just came out of nowhere. Stussy, with its 40th anniversary, collaborated with so many brands. Rick Owens, Off-White, CDG. They released really solid collections. I really liked a bunch of their pieces from their holiday collection. I liked just a lot of their pieces in general. The vintage stuff that Stussy has done became so overpriced in 2020 because everyone wanted that vintage Stussy. Some big releases that they had in 2020 that sold out that are so hard to find now. I like their, I say find for a good price, not find in general. You can Google that super easy, but I just mean find for a good price. Is like their 40th anniversary location-based varsity jacket. I love that release. I mean, that's just because I'm a sucker for varsity jackets, but it was just super nice, super solid. I really liked it. Their collaboration with Comme des Garçons sub-label CDG was amazing. Their bomber jacket, their tees, everyone was going for them. Everyone wants them. Their tee collaboration with like Rick Owens, Off-White, all that stuff, all those like other high-end brands as well, was super sought after, sold out instantly, and everyone was wearing it. Everyone was loving it. Vintage, the releases in 2020 and the collaborations in 2020 all appeared in my newsfeed, and everyone's opinions shifted on Stussy, especially in Australia, I feel, because everyone that wears Stussy in Australia are perceived as like bogans, you know, trouble against the system kids, you know, people that are just rebellious, you know, I don't know, it's hard to describe. But then it all shifted in 2020 and everyone was like, dude, Stussy's cool. Like, it was that big monumental shift of attitudes towards the brand, and just the brand's releases selling out, everyone wearing them, everyone wanting them, that I felt like it just deserved its spot at number 2. Like, it all just came together for Stussy for their 40th anniversary, and honestly, good on them. You know, congrats for being around for 40 years. That's not something to skip over for a brand. But yeah, that was crazy. That was, yeah, it was wild. What a wild year. Stussy had an amazing year, and I felt like they deserved spot number 2. I feel like they deserve spot number 2. You may disagree with me and say that, you know, Nike SB, Jordan Brand, or New Balance deserve higher than that. But I don't know, I really felt like Stussy deserves that spot. So that's number 2, guys. That's my second most hyped brand in streetwear in 2020. We've got one left. One that, I'm gonna be real, most of us that watch the channel can definitely not afford. I mean, maybe I'm speaking for myself here, but I could definitely not afford it. I can afford maybe like 1 or 2 of their pieces, and it's like they're super, I'm not gonna say generic pieces, but the pieces that everyone knows. Let's go have a look at my most hyped brand of 2020 my most hyped brand in streetwear in 2020. Let's check it out. Let's get into it. Number one, my most hyped brand, or at least the brand that I think is the most hyped in streetwear in 2020. This brand originally started as a low-key leather goods motorcyclist brand, essentially, in the late 80s. It has had celebrities in so many different genres of art wearing it over the decades. You had Dennis Rodman wearing it in the 90s. You had famous rock artists wearing it in the 90s. You had famous actors wearing it in the 90s. It's been popular in all those ways, but it wasn't really talked about on the internet as like this amazing, crazy brand that's so hyped and so sought after until 2020. Major rap artists were wearing it for decades, and now in 2020, every rap artist has it. It's really hard to come by, and they barely ever release online. You've mainly got to pick up their stuff in store, and there's very few in-store locations worldwide. It is a super sought after brand. It is super expensive. If you don't know what brand it is by now, after that whole explanation, I'm quite shocked. but it is Chrome Hearts. I'm gonna say it. The Chrome Wars took over 2020, and it was definitely, I feel, the most hyped brand of 2020. Everybody wanted those jeans. Everyone wants those cross-applique jeans. Everyone wanted them in different colors and stuff like that. If you go onto Grailed and the secondary market and look at legitimate pairs, they go for thousands of dollars. Thousands. And everyone wanted the rings. Don't lie to yourself. You wanted the rings. I wanted the rings. Everybody wants the rings. The clothing, the accessories, the customized shoes, every single aspect of Chrome Hearts was wanted in 2020. And that is like the primary reason why I'm putting it at its spot, because all the brands that I've talked about before, it was one section of the brand that put them in the spot that they deserved. You know, New Balance, it was for the shoes. Not many people were going after the apparel. Jordan brand, it was, yes, a bit of the apparel, but primarily the shoes. Nike SB, same deal. Stussy, it was everything. It was the collaborations, it was the apparel, it was everything like that. But Stussy was nowhere near to the same degree as Chrome Hearts in its demand and its like hype. It's everywhere. Chrome Hearts is everywhere online. Like, you will see it on archive pages, influencers pages. You will see it on, you know, fashion and streetwear YouTubers pages being talked about. Like, it was huge in 2020. Look, and I'm not going to even front. I want some of their pieces. I just can't afford them. Because, I mean, you go look at those prices. Those are damn expensive prices. But, yeah, every single element of Chrome Hearts was wanted in 2020. I feel like it deserves spot number one. I can't think of a brand that deserves it more. Well, not deserves it, but, you know, is worthy of the place at spot number one besides Chrome Hearts. It just felt like that was the case. But that is it, guys. That is my top 5 list. That is it. I could go on for Chrome Hearts. I could go on talking about Chrome Hearts for ages. But, I mean, some of you are going to disagree with my list. Some of you are going to agree with my list. But I want to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on my list. Do you agree with the brands that I've put in the specific, you know, positions? Or do you feel like there should be a reshuffle? Let me know. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions on my top 5 most hyped brands in 2020 streetwear down in that comment section below. And that's the list. That is the list, guys. So at number 5, we had New Balance. Number 4, we had Jordan brand. At number 3, we had Nike SB. At number 2, we had the California Cool brand, Stussy. And at number 1, we had Chrome Heart. Which, again, maybe some of you don't know anything about Chrome Hearts or have never heard of them in your life. But there you go, now you do. Now you do. But I want to hear from you guys in that comment section below. What do you feel were the top 5 most hyped brands in streetwear in 2020? Let me know down in that comment section below. I want to hear what you have to say. Now, guys, if you guys want me to keep doing top 5 videos, you want me to keep covering the latest upcoming streetwear and sneaker releases, don't forget to leave a big old like on this video, comment in that comment section below, and subscribe to the channel, as we are also trying to aim for a new milestone, a new subscriber milestone, before the end of January. Yes, we are trying to aim for 2,825 subscribers. I think we need like 2 or 3 more, so subscribe today. Tell the mates to subscribe as well, and hopefully we can reach that milestone before the end of January. But that's everything I gotta say, guys. That's my recap of the top 5 most hyped brands in 2020 streetwear. I don't think I'm gonna change it. It took me, like, look, even in my little notebook, I was like switching them around. I was like, is this number 3? Is this number 4? But I'm pretty comfortable with that top 5 list. I'm pretty comfortable with that. So I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on it down in that comment section below. But until the next top 5 video, until the next streetwear talk video, until the next sneaker talk video, guys, I'll catch you later.